Hi, my name is Kayla and welcome to the Kindness Club. Here we talk about everything from finding ways to be kind to ourselves, to others in our everyday lives, and how to be kind in our approach to ourselves and to others, and in our careers. First off, let's talk about what is kindness. Kindness to me is having the ability to see ourselves and others through the lens of compassion, through understanding that we're all fundamentally humans who are doing our best with what we have. When you see the world that way, it's hard to get upset about mundane things that might typically tick you off. I'm the first to admit that I have not always been kind. I'm extremely quick to judgment and frustration. I used to be the person that was set off by just the smallest things. This was because I was not treating myself with kindness. I wasn't giving myself the time and space to take care of my needs. As a result, I assumed the worst in everyone because of my poor mindset. Once you have a negativity bias towards yourself, there's simply no way that you'll have the ability to see others through a positive lens. Trust me, no matter how hard you try. I'll tell you a story that will help illustrate this. I used to live in a basement suite with 3 other units attached, and we also shared a laneway with a couple of houses. In order for the people who lived down the laneway to get to their house, they had to drive down past our house. To make this image a little bit clearer, our house was also the closest to the main road. So everybody drove up past ours. So sometimes we would get a little bit of a bottleneck toward the end of our lane, as lots of people would try to get onto the main road. It was a really busy road. We were really close to the university, and so during the school year, it would get really wild. So at times, we would literally sit there for 5 minutes or more waiting to turn left towards the city. It was pretty bad. Anyways, there was an elderly man who lived down our street. He was really nice. He was quiet. It seemed like he kind of started to struggle with living on his own. And he used to park at the end of the laneway, blocking the way in and out for everyone who lived on the block. He would turn off his car and walk down to get his garbage and recycling bins from the curb, and then walk all the way down our shared laneway to return the bins to his house. That laneway was our only way in and out for any of the houses back there. If I remember correctly, there was 3 or 4 of us that shared this laneway, and many of the houses had multiple units. So lots of cars coming in and out. And so this day, we sat and waited in the lane for the man who moved really slowly and really took his time to take his bins all the way down the laneway. And of course, this wasn't going to work out for me as a person who puts herself on a very tight schedule. This day, the man couldn't find his recycling bin, and so he was wandering around for 10 or 15 minutes while his car blocked the laneway. So we were sitting in the left lane waiting to turn into the laneway. We were blocking traffic because it was a single lane road, so things were backed up all the way to the university. It was terrible. We ended up having to pull into a different laneway, slightly down from us, and then spin around and try to turn right into our lane. So when we circled back around, the man was still wandering around with his car parked in the middle of the lane. We sat there for a couple more seconds, and then we thought, maybe we should see what's going on. So my partner was driving, I got out to go talk to him, and I let him know we were waiting to get into the lane. I was visibly frustrated because of the person I was then, and ready to approach this guy with disrespect and anger, to be honest. I said, "Excuse me, hi, we're trying to get into the driveway here," which didn't sound particularly rude, but it was the way that I said it, partnered with the inevitable scowl on my face, that made it really rude. He said he was sorry and he didn't realize that anyone was waiting to get into the driveway. He said he couldn't find his recycling bin and he was clearly feeling pretty flustered about it. I felt terrible because I approached this man with the idea that he was blocking the driveway to be spiteful, as though he wanted to throw off somebody's day. I didn't even think that maybe there's a reason for him parking there. Maybe there's something happening to him or for him. When I tell you I feel bad, I felt really bad. I should have checked on him with my human first mentality, leading with love, and kindness, and with the desire to help someone who may be really struggling. This, for me, was the tipping point or the light bulb moment that made me realize that if I want to identify myself as a kind person, I need to walk the walk, so to speak. So after that, I made a point of smiling at everyone on the street with genuine love and kindness, saying hello as people passed me, and always assuming that people have the best intentions, even when situations are less than ideal. If I encountered someone who was being purposefully mean, I approached the situation with kindness and compassion. So, for example, I was just driving the other day with my family down the highway, and there was a trucker who threw a cigarette and then left at our car. And I was like, what the heck? That's really strange behavior. We're literally just kind of driving down the street. And then I thought, maybe this guy is really tired. Truckers work really long hours. Maybe he's just having one of those days. And it really kind of calmed me down and made me wonder, what's going on with him? I hope he's okay. And I can send him kindness and compassion rather than being upset and thinking, what's wrong with you? You're throwing things at my car and then laughing? That's not okay. So, I mean, you can do that. There's no rule saying that you're not allowed to be upset if somebody is intentionally being mean to you. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to feel a little bit triggered. But for your sake, for the sake of your mental health and your happiness, it's best to just lead with kindness and compassion. I mean, if you think about it, it's really against human nature for us to be intentionally malicious to others. I can think of all of the times that I have been intentionally mean. I was probably hangry. I was probably really stressed out or uncomfortable. There was probably some factor in my life that made me not an excellent person, to be honest. And that's, of course, not an excuse to be mean to anybody, but it's a reason. So when somebody is being intentionally mean, you kind of have to wonder, what's happening with this person? Are they okay? Maybe they need some help. Maybe they're overwhelmed. Maybe they're tired. Maybe they're hungry. And it lessens the burden on your shoulders because you're not upset. You're not carrying that interaction around with you for the rest of your day. And it offers that person some kindness. And maybe they won't realize it at the moment, and that's okay, but they will probably reflect on the situation and realize that your reaction with kindness was compassionate. And it'll maybe prompt them to make some changes. If they're anything like me, then that's probably what will happen. So take a moment and think about if you've ever been intentionally cruel or malicious to someone. I mean, I will admit, yes, I have. I was once a teenage girl. I have been mean before, certainly. And I think that everybody has intentionally been mean at some point in their lives. But then take another moment without judgment and just think, what was going on for you that day? It could be as simple as having a bad sleep, not eating enough during the day. You know, it could be a host of things. Maybe you were getting sick. Maybe there was something going on with your family or your friends. Maybe the weather was turning and, caused some changes for you. Again, not an excuse, but it's a reason. And reasons are not invalid. It's always good to approach yourself with kindness, of course. I will also argue that being intentionally cruel to someone actually feels worse than someone being intentionally cruel to you. So the opposite is also true. Being intentionally kind and compassionate to someone is almost better than someone being kind and compassionate to you. So maybe take a moment and reflect on that. See what kind of truthful answers or thoughts come up without any judgment. It's always nice to kind of take a moment and reflect on these kind of big concepts. Feel free to pause if you want to keep reflecting, but I'll just keep on going here. It feels really good to be kind. This is very true. Kindness is medicine, it's joy, it's the one action that is free that can get us the furthest in our lives in any domain. Of course, things like hard work, resilience come hand in hand with things that can get us further in any domain. But I would argue that kindness is the very first and foremost action and thought and state of mind, really, that will get us the furthest. And this is the purpose of the Kindness Club with Kayla Lee. I'm Kayla Lee. We talk about our honest and practical observations and our experiences with kindness and ways that we can improve various aspects of our lives if we utilize this free and powerful tool of kindness. No matter who you are, no matter your age, your gender, your sexual orientation, your career path, your political beliefs, or your personal values, everybody can benefit from giving and receiving kindness in their lives at any given moment. So with that, I guess I'll tell you a little bit about myself. By education, I'm an early childhood Montessori teacher, and I work a full-time job in that field. I'm also a certified personal trainer and a registered yoga teacher, so I wear a lot of hats, and I'm very passionate about everything that I do. I am pretty much a brand new content creator who really just wants to share the lens of kindness in all of the different domains in which I work. So, kindness in training, which is very rare. A lot of trainers like to take the approach of working people very hard to their breaking point. And while that might be beneficial in some cases, I think that our first and foremost approach to every client and person should be kindness and compassion and meeting that person where they are. So no matter where you're coming from and no matter where you're going, if you're greeted with kindness, it makes such a better life experience for you, doesn't it? I just noticed such a big difference when I smile at people and they smile back. And I say to myself, just in my head, like, I feel seen and I feel loved. And that was just a stranger. That's just a small way to make somebody's day and to bolster your day to be even better. So, anyways, if you like this talk, please like and subscribe so I can keep sharing my thoughts and practical ways to use kindness in our everyday lives. It would be really great, especially as a new content creator. I would really love to hear if you liked this. If you have any ideas or thoughts about it, that would be wonderful. Anyways, thank you for sticking around for this long. May you give the kindness you wish to receive today. Bye.